News Extra family, good evening. It's me, and I'm back. You know, once in a while, it's good to take a break. But let me assure you, it's good to be back on the beat, especially to News Extra, the news bulletin that gives you the news with the extra touch. Well, the times we are in are not strange, and of course, the bulletin is full of relevant stories, politics, and elections. But we win, and there we have your usual business news, development stories, education, agriculture, and much more. Now, we have so much, so let's not waste time. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. Now we begin with politics. The All Progressives Congress APC presidential campaign team has stormed Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, rekindling the message of hope and sustainable development for the country with a winning vote for President Muhammadu Buhari in next week's general elections. Correspondent Joshua Ojito has that report.
It is a show of love and solidarity as the people of the state converge on Lafia to declare their total support to the Nigerian leader, whom they say has done a lot for the people of the state. Overwhelmed with the turnout, President Buhari appreciates the people of Nasarawa State for keeping faith with his administration as he assures them of better days. The president re-emphasizes that his administration has done well in areas of security, fight against corruption and revamping of the economy, promising that this will be consolidated as APC is taking the country to the next level. He urges the people of the state to vote APC candidate in the election as he presents flag to the governorship candidate of the party, Abdullahi Sule. Governor Al-Mukura reassures President Buhari that the people of the state will vote massively for APC as the party sustains grassroots mobilization. National chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, says what Nigeria needs is a leader with integrity in the person of President Buhari.
Pro-people president, pro-masses president, pro-poor president, pro-school feeding president, pro-infrastructure president, pro-power president, pro-integrity president, pro-patriotism president.
As he calls on the people of the state to vote APC. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress presidential campaign train was in Makurdi, the Benue state capital, in continuation of its nationwide campaigns. President Muhammadu Buhari promised to do everything within his power to ensure free and fair elections. Political correspondent Sadiu Abdullahi monitored the rally, and this is what he has.
Benue State, like other 5 states in the North Central Zone, is significant to actualizing the APC's desire for success in the forthcoming polls. Impressed by the reception given to the campaign team, APC stalwarts appreciated Nigeria's diversity, which should be embraced to promote a peaceful and united Nigeria.
I have not come to lament the failure of the current governor. I have come with a message of hope that we with Jimmy as the next governor, salary will be paid as and when due.
We'll have a wonderful relationship with the Fulanese. We have no problems with the Fulanese. We value our relationship. In this complex federation, relationships must subsist. We are for you.
That by the grace of God, Mr. President, you will see wonders.
President Muhammadu Buhari promised to be consistent in policies and remain focused in upholding the 3 cardinal agenda of his administration, which he said is impacting on the nation's prosperity.
You are very lucky. Benue State was relatively peaceful then, but the people of the Northeast, the 6 states, they know what they were going through. Boko Haram used to occupy at least 17 local governments. We thank the military. They are now holding no single local government. I will do my best to provide security to make sure elections are free and fair.
Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well, as the saying goes, charity begins at home. And so the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, is going by this as he holds an interactive session with residents of the presidential villa and its environs. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has the details.
Cheers from the crowd all the way as the Vice President and his entourage come into the meeting point at the State House. Leading the people is a one-time Senator, Kairat Gwadabe, who commends the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration and hints of the community's resolve to move with the administration to the next level.
The turnout today, as you can see, it's to show you that all what the government has been doing has been acceptable to the people.
We, the youth of Nigeria, the graduate ones have benefited most in this your first tenure. Now you are heading to the next level, and we are going with you.
We have a lot in our heart to pour out, but we don't have the opportunity to say it. So I'm using this video that they should come into the villa and ask the women what do they need, so that you people will hear our mouths and it will come to our head. So I don't have much to say. Thank you so much.
Responding to the barrage of questions, especially on electricity, housing, security, and the economy, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the requests are germane and would not be left unattended to, as they are matters of urgent public importance.
With respect to the Barracks community, is that I'm going to have a small team of people with the Minister of Women Affairs and myself, plus the Minister of the FCT, sit down with you and look at those problems one by one. The Barracks community is very important. Part of the reason why they are so important is because we must not treat the wives, many who are widows, of our men and women who fought, and many who have died. We cannot treat them anyhow.
What they are doing, truly we really appreciate. All our complaint, we already learned our complaint to them, and they know what we are passing through, they know what we like, they know what we don't like, so they are going to do for us. And we believe that in the future, they are going to do more than what they did now. They say next level, we are waiting for what will happen in next level.
This community, these people are really saying it out, that they believe so much in what the president is doing and that they are ready to go along with the president to the next level. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Many thanks, Jide. Now, in Nasarawa State, the Council of Chiefs has joined its counterparts in other parts of the country to formally endorse and declare support for the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari. The acting chairman of the council and emir of Kefi, Shehu Chindoya Musa, who announced this when the president paid homage on the royal father in Lafia, appreciated the genuine commitment of the Nigerian leader to public good. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports that the president also interacted with Benue monarchs in Makurdi, who also confirmed the enhanced presence of government in the area.
It was a befitting welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari on arrival in Lafia, the capital of Nasarawa, described as his political laboratory. For his honesty, sincerity of purpose, incorruptibility, selflessness in service, and genuine commitment to the poor, President Buhari is not only highly cherished and respected here, but virtually adored. Simply put, the people have faith in the president's leadership and everything he stands for, as demonstrated in the way and manner they turn out massively to receive him. Receiving the president on a courtesy visit, members of the State Council of Chiefs, led by the Emir of Kefi, Shehu Chindoya Musa, applauded his purposefulness and sense of focus in governance as exemplified by the various interventions in critical economic sectors.
On our part, as a people, we pledge our unalloyed support and loyalty to the person of Mr. President and his government. We pray Almighty Allah to grant our prayers for continuity prosperity of our nation.
We have faith in you. We have commitment to your cause. Everything had to do with your philosophy, with your ideology, with your values, and social justice. Everyone is falling online, and I believe by the special grace of God, 2019 has come to be.
President Muhammadu Buhari thanked the royal fathers and indeed the people of Nasarawa for believing and sustaining their trust and confidence in him over the years. He promised to remain focused and resolute in the onerous task of taking Nigeria to the next level.
Nigerian political commentators have failed to see the sacrifice we made, and what I feel is for understanding and support.
And in the neighboring Benue state, greater signs have emerged that the food basket of the nation will return to the governing APC and move to the next level with the rest of Nigeria. It was a massive demonstration of support, appreciation, and respect for the president as he arrived Makurdi, the state capital, to solicit for votes and launch the rescue mission in the state with the power of the broom. While on a homage to the paramount rulers in the state under the auspices of the Benue Council of Chiefs, both the chairman of the council, who is also the Totif, Professor James Ayatse, as well as Governor Samuel Otom, could not help appreciating the president for walking the talk in the restoration of peace and provision of critical infrastructure in the area.
I want to appreciate you for your intervention in sending the operation White Stroke that has helped to maintain peace. So we have a relative peace now in Benue State. Thank you for the appointments you made for Benue's sons and daughters. I want to appreciate you for the projects. I believe you are a man of integrity and you keep to your word and you keep to your promise. Benue people will be glad that their father came.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as gladdening the public appreciation of his sincere efforts towards achieving lasting peace as well as addressing genuine public concerns for stable and prosperous economy. He said it is not in the character of the governing APC to abdicate its responsibilities, no matter the circumstances. The APC presidential campaign team has so far been received in 27 states of the Federation. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Women and Youths presidential campaign team has arrived at the palace of Aguma of Gwagwalada and the chairman Gwagwalada Traditional Council, Mohammed Magaji, soliciting the support and prayers of the Aguma and his people for the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari in the forthcoming polls. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir was there and now reports.
At the palace of Aguma of Gwagwalada and the chairman Gwagwalada Traditional Council, Mohammed Magaji, women and youth have converged in support and solidarity of President Muhammadu Buhari and his laudable policies and programs of building the nation. The Women and Youth Presidential Campaign team, led by the representative of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, Dr. Hajasani, received by the Aguma, and they swung into action. The central message was canvassing support for President Muhammadu Buhari's second term for peace, unity and development of the country. They assured the people of Gwagwalada of more dividend of democracy if President Muhammadu Buhari is re-elected in the forthcoming elections.
For us, Gwagwalada is home. Like we earlier said, in 2015, we are here, we were received and we were assured 100% for President Muhammadu Buhari. And now we are here again for the second time, soliciting for his support, as usual, for his re-election bid.
Because Baba has done so well. He's leaving a legacy, he's building a solid foundation for our children yet unborn. You can see his age. It's not about him. He's talking about our future. He wants to leave a future for us.
The Aguma of Gwagwalada and the entire people of the area reaffirmed their support for President Muhammadu Buhari for continuity and progress of the country. From the palace of the Aguma of Gwagwalada, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
I guess you're aware that without your PVC, you're just a bystander come February 16th, when the rest of us will be choosing our leaders. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema is very much aware of this, and that's why he wants citizens of Enugu State, particularly members of the APC, who are yet to collect their permanent voter cards, to do so before Friday's deadline to enable them vote for President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, he made the request during the continuation of his local government campaign tour for the re-election of the president and the APC members in the state. Makut Simon Macham has the details.
On the third day of the local government grassroots mobilization campaign for President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC in Enugu State, Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema and the Kusike political movement visited Nkanu East and Enugu South local government areas. This time, the minister was joined by the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, and other party stalwarts in the state who all continued their mobilization for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC. The minister reminded them of the 8th February deadline for the collection of permanent voters' cards, asking them to beat the deadline in order to avoid being shut out.
He has run for president 3 times before and lost each time before he finally won. All he has, his only ambition, is to transform our country.
It's very easy to say you are marginalized and you go home sulking. Bikonu is maybe only 4 years for the Igbo to produce president. If we go to President Muhammadu Buhari.
Earlier, members of the Buhari Youth Support Group for the state were inaugurated by the Southeast Coordinator Youth Contact Mobilization, Ude Adolphus, in an event witnessed by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema. In Enugu, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Well, it's not less than just 10 days for Nigerians to go to the polls, meaning campaigns to win presidential and National Assembly elections have entered their peak period across the country. But do you know that there is a shift in the way both politicians and the electorate, as well as other stakeholders, approach the 2019 elections, with issues taking center stage in the campaigns? Our correspondent Abdullah Garba Birninkudu captures this interesting scenario in Jigawa State. His report.
This is the mood across the 27 local government areas of Jigawa State. Campaigns and campaigns as politicians crisscross the state in search of votes. But beyond this fanfare, the electors, in collaboration with civil society organizations, have taken the 2019 election to another level, taking the politicians seeking elective position to task. As Jigawa State is considered as the worst hit, with the cases of acute child malnourishment put at over 63.3% by United Nations Children and Education Fund, UNICEF, voters have put forward this issue as condition to vote for candidates. For the first time, candidates were drilled on what are their plans in addressing this problem if elected into office.
I am going to make sure that laudable programs like Haigua Life here, like the Gunduma.
Jigawa is the first state in this country to develop its own social investment policy. Jigawa is also the first state in Nigeria to complete its own cash transfer program with the help of Action Against Hunger.
We will make sure there must be prudence in the management of public funds. Strict adherence to budgetary plan is very important.
We have clearly shown beyond doubt how committed our government was in terms of provision of quality health care to the people.
Candidates were also subjected to an elaborate debate on their plans to the state at another forum.
The results coming from WAEC and NECO have improved from 4% in WAEC, what we inherited, to about 15 last 2 years and dropped to about 7 or 8 now.
To provide more train and retrain the extension workers for them to advise the farmers.
Jigawa State electorates and the nation as a whole are getting wiser, because they have now come to realize that their vote is the only way for them to voice out their rights, which they say is the best thing to happen to the nation's democracy.
in Dutse, Jigawa State. Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is threatening to pull out of the peace accord entered into ahead of the February 16th presidential polls. The party's National Publicity Secretary and Director of Media and Publicity of the Presidential Campaign Organization, Kola Ologbondiyan, at a media briefing in Abuja, alleged that some comments of threats were made by the governor of Kaduna State, Nasarawa, while appearing on a national television program this Tuesday. He also alleged of plans to redeploy a new commissioner of police to Kwara State, as well as alleged shutdown of all stadia in Kano State against the party.
To immediately summon El-Rufai on his inflammatory remarks against peaceful election in our country.
Well, I'm now being joined in the studio by the spokesman of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what do you make of this threat by the People's Democratic Party?
Well, I think the PDP has failed as a party to differentiate between party politics, party interests, and then, of course, the national interest. First of all, it's in the national interest that foreign interests, foreign bodies, foreign nations do not interfere in our internal affairs. There's a difference between interference and observation. Yeah. Take note. We always welcome observation. Even when we were opposition parties, we always called on the international community to come and observe, but not to come and interfere. The United Nations Charter, Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the United Nations Charter prohibits member states from interfering in the internal affairs of other states, of, states that have their sovereignty. And especially if you look at Article 2, Chapter 4, it talks about territorial integrity, not to interfere in territorial integrity, and political, independence. Those are the two phrases it uses. We have political independence right now. And if you look at all the definitions of interference in international law, I did international law to the highest level. Interference also means intervention. They are used, interchangeably. So people should understand that interference is intervention. Intervention is the use of force against a member state to impose your will or to dictate to them how it should be done. And that is what El-Rufai said. And I was expecting the PDP to applaud the statement and to join El-Rufai in echoing the statement. You know why? Because the 2019 elections will come and go, but Nigeria as an entity will remain. So for me, I think that it is regrettable that the PDP has set a benchmark in this election. We either win it by hook or crook or the nation goes down. That is what the PDP has been doing. They have been looking for every excuse to either boycott this election, to rubbish the process, even before it holds at all, or in any way to cause mayhem. If they lose these elections. And this is very regrettable. This is what has been, for example, they have been conjoining all kinds of voodoo polls all over the place, so that once the voodoo polls puts them as clear winners and they don't win, then they will tell the international community that the team went against the poll. Imagine a poll that they commissioned themselves called Williams and something, and the claimant of that poll was Atiku Abubakar that commissioned the poll himself. And they guess what? They were not ashamed to put that the respondents were 8,500 people that they sought their response. 8,500 out of 84 million voters. They sought opinion of 8,500. How shameful. And then the PDP has been celebrating that poll. So they have been creating this impression that they are ahead in the polls, that they are ahead of everybody. And so when they lose, there will be mayhem.
I don't know if you heard or if you watched last night on national television, Buba Galadima, who is a member of the new APC.
No, he's a member of the PDP.
The PDP.
Not new APC.
Okay.
They are PDP,
now, he alleged that the rail lines the APC commissioned were completed by the Abacha regime. Now, what do you say to
it's
that?
It's so shameful. In fact, that is such a self-indicting statement. So if Abacha completed the rail line, they could not even make it functional, because there's something about completion and then just making it functional, use it. So how come Abacha completed it and they could not even use it for 16 years? It's so self-indicting, it's so shameful that they have descended to this level of lies and deceit. Let me tell you, I'm not even considering that Abacha completed it. Because if it is so easy, I repeat, if it's so easy to complete projects, they are deriding Buhari for completing their projects. That is what they are deriding him about for. If it's so easy to complete projects, how come they could not just complete the Ajaokuta, the Itakbe, Warri rail line for 16 years? Because it was there when they came in uncompleted. President Buhari has completed it. It has become functional. So every statement they make is self-indicting. PDP is not an opposition party. PDP is a party with a past record. It's better to refer to them like that, not an opposition party. They have a record. So Nigerians must compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. That is what Nigerians are comparing. Now, they cannot say they have a record. So it is shameful. And let me also remind you that those rail lines were single gauge rail lines. Some of those rail lines that President Buhari inherited. Now they have improved them to even standard gauge rail lines right now. So it's unfortunate that in a desperate bid to come out of the hunger they found themselves in the last 3.5 years, the PDP member, because their life has always been access to public funds. They have seen that they have not had access to public funds in the last 3.5 years. And the hunger and bitterness is driving them nuts. I'm saying it to all respect, because some of the things they say don't add up at all. They don't just add up. How can you, in your true sense of patriotism, call on the international community to come and intervene, use force against your country? Nigerians should please watch them and see the desperation with which they are going to the election. They are afraid to face the electorate. They are using every means possible. And we understand. Let me tell Nigerians today that they are working on the Venezuela option. The Venezuela option is to cause mayhem if they lose, even the free and fair election, and then call for foreign intervention. Now we are warning the world, and I support what El Rufai said 100%, that they must not intervene in our internal affairs. Interference and intervention. We shall use every drop of our blood to defend our territorial integrity of this country.
I guess we have to leave it here for now. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Now, moving on the program, peace, the word that has continued to resonate in almost every gathering in Nigeria due to the election, has resurfaced again at the decoration of newly promoted Assistant Inspector Generals of Police. News Extra will continue after the break. Join us again.
Inner strength, yeah, that comes from the hard knocks that life throws at us. And we Nigerians, we know all about that. We don't stay down, we get up and fight. Sure, it's about speed, technique, quality of the punches, reach. But the real fight is with myself.
It's the power, but it's the speed as well.
But I can't carry this heavyweight title by myself. There's always got to be someone in my corner. And that's why I believe in Glow. We have that same tenacity, that Nigerian fighting spirit that makes us game changers. You have to dig deep to be a world champion. But yeah, we Nigerians, yeah, we know all about that.
What a fight!
Glow, our halo.
Heavyweight champion of the world.
My people, we are getting better, we are going higher. Today points to the future and the next level. We are better and moving forward. Everything go to the next level. Everything go decline to the next level. Good jobs on call to the next level. Our road on call to the next level. People money call to the next level. Trader money call to the next level. Tailor money call to the next level. Dresser money call to the next level. Higher, 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 higher. We are moving.
We have done more with less in infrastructural developments. Roads, railways, major bridges, schools, energy and power, air and seaports, welfare of serving and retired personnel, both civilian and military.
Prosperity for everyone.
I have seen these young Africans prosper, from some who didn't even know what to do with their lives until they got the $5,000 seed capital from Tony Elumelu Foundation, and the mentorship and the training. That gladdens my heart.
I saw this ad about the Tony Elumelu Foundation. I applied. That was the pivotal moment.
Africa Fashion Week London just came after I participated in the Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurship programs.
Tony Elumelu, grâce à sa fondation, permet de donner une boussole à tous les entrepreneurs de cette fondation.
Our role is not only to empower young Africans directly, we should be a voice, advocate, catalyst for economic empowerment of Africa.
The future of Africa is in your hands.
Become a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. Apply now.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, wishes to notify the general public that the collection of Permanent Voters Card, PVC, will be suspended at 4 p.m. on Friday, 8 February 2019, until after the 2019 general elections. Eligible voters who registered but have not collected their cards are advised to go to the INEC local government office in the area where they registered to collect their PVC. Remember, no PVC, no voting. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your votes count, consolidating our democracy. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Ekanem Oyoita, will present the scorecard of the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation for 2018. Date, 7 February 2019. Venue, Obasanjo Hall, Block A, 2nd floor, Federal Secretariat. Time, 9 a.m. The Public Service Quarterly Lecture. Theme, the cardinal role of the public servant in governance. Keynote lecture will be delivered by Professor Oladapo Afolabi, Chairman, Alhaji Mahmoud Yayali Ahmed. Date, 7 February 2019. Venue, National Universities Commission Auditorium, Maitama, Abuja. Time, 12 noon. The head of the Civil Service Epic Award Ceremony and Dinner. Date, 7 February 2019. Venue, State House Banquet Hall, Abuja. Time, 7 p.m. Danyang Dajan Peter, announcer. The presidential media team invites the public to the book presentation titled Nigeria on Firmer Ground Towards Lasting Peace and Progress, a compendium of achievements under the Buhari administration. Date, Friday, February 8, 2019. Venue, State House Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 4 p.m. prompt. Special guest of honor, Muhammadu Buhari, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chairman of the occasion, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. National Leader, APC. Book reviewer, Chief Olusegun Oshoba. Book presenter, Senator Ken Inamani. For further details, please call the following numbers. Femi Adeshino, 0805-500-1928. Garba Shehu, 0803-408-0058. Laolu Akonde, 0805-941-3866. Organizing Committee, Announcer.
You're welcome back. This is NTA News Extra, reaching you live from the network service of the NTA. The need to ensure a peaceful election has continued to resonate at different gatherings, as the election is regarded by many as the scorecard of Nigeria's democracy. At the decoration of newly promoted Assistant Inspectors General and Commissioners of Police, the mandate handed down to them is to be forward-looking, as it is imperative to create an enabling environment for fair and credible elections. Runke Kolawole has the details.
Decorated are 18 Assistant Inspectors General of Police, among whom is a female Obembe Modupe, the Force Medical Officer. 33 Commissioners of Police were also commissioned. The acting IGP said the promotion was guided by the principles of seniority and merit and a clear testimony of his promotion policy. He said the new hands are key to the successful conduct of the forthcoming general elections, assuring Nigerians that all plans for violent free pools have already been perfected. The IGP also held a strategic meeting with commanders of counter-terrorism unit and the special protection unit from the 36 states and the FCT.
Within this context of the strategic election security operational plan of the force, you shall be required to deploy your personnel to 1. Provide specialized protection for INEC staff and NYC and other ad hoc personnel of the Commission that will be deployed for the elections. 2. You are required to secure INEC facilities across the country. 3. You are to undertake patrols of the public space before, during, and after the elections.
It disclosed that the operatives of the units may be prone down or order their total withdrawal from non-essential duties, including those attached to certain categories of personalities, to ensure full mobilization and deployment. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says his attention has been drawn to the allegation by the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties, CNPP, Kwara State Chapter, claiming that the federal government is planning to clamp down on the opposition parties in the state ahead of the forthcoming general elections. The minister stated this in Abuja. Anthony Forson has the details.
The Information and Culture Minister, while describing the allegation as a panic reaction by the opposition, said they are propelled by the imminent defeat they will suffer in the upcoming elections, having tasted same in November last year.
This allegation by the shadowy CNPP is a panic reaction to my consistent call on the security agencies to rid Kwara State of all known thugs and other criminals ahead of the elections in order to provide a level playing field for all the parties.
He restated that the success beckoning at APC in the state has sent shivers down the spines of the opposition since their talks have been chased away from polling stations.
We have no apologies for ridding the state of these delinquents. However, all law-abiding Kwarans have nothing to be afraid of, as the security agencies have assured that they will provide the enabling peaceful environment for voters to exercise their franchise. We therefore call on all the good people of Kwara State to disregard the orchestrated hysteria by the so-called CNPP, which is nothing but the face of the drowning dynasty that has held Kwara State by the jugular for years. Otoge.
Meaning, enough is enough. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
In the first of her two-day fact-finding visit to Nigeria ahead of the forthcoming general elections, former Liberian president and head of the ECOWAS Observer Mission, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, has engaged with INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Dennis Adeguloyi reports that she commended Nigeria's contribution to 50 years of peace enjoyed in Liberia and emphasized Nigeria's strategic importance in Africa.
The former Liberian leader and head of the ECOWAS Observer Mission, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, commended Nigeria's contributions to 15 years of uninterrupted peace in Liberia and emphasized on the strategic importance of Nigeria on the African continent.
And that's why it's a great pleasure for me to be a part of this process. Having gone through a political transition myself, having gone through these processes of peace after years of destruction, I'm very pleased that I will be a part of what we know will be in Nigeria a process of election that ensures that Nigeria continues to play the pivotal role of leadership that it does in our continent.
On his part, the INEC boss, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, thanked the former Liberian leader for honoring what was a specific invite by the Commission to be one of several key international observers for the forthcoming elections and commended her key role in elections in the sub-region. He also assured of the Commission's understanding and appreciation of the keen interest by the international community in the elections.
This commission will not fail Nigerians, will not fail the sub-region, and will not fail the world. We are going to prove that what happened in 2015 was simply not a fluke, and that 2019 is also going to be yet another landmark in our democratic process.
Mrs. Sirleaf also interacted with other major players in the elections, including the National Peace Committee and the Inspector General of Police, where she echoed similar sentiments of being honored to serve Nigeria. She also made mention of the successes of the 2015 general elections and re-emphasized the keen interest of the world.
We have already completed arrangement in terms of securing the electoral materials, securing the INEC officials, providing security for the observers, both national and international observers.
Your physical presence here is really a source of inspiration, in part because you've been a beacon of light for African women.
And the former Liberian leader is expected to conclude her tour on Thursday, and of course she will be back a couple of days before the elections proper. In Abuja, I am Dennis at Digunloy, NTA News.
National interest, national security, a rule of law are often re-echoing words in strengthening institutions and the polity. But how well do Nigerians abide by them in the light of alleged reports of connivance with external forces to destabilize the polity, given that the general elections start with the presidential and National Assembly elections? Over now to Talatu Ezirike.
Globally, countries are guided by foreign policies anchored on respect on their respective territorial integrity, occasioned by non-direct interference in their internal affairs or policy. Observers on international relations are of the view that interferences are allowed only when they are positive, evident of which was Nigeria's peacekeeping role in countries such as Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Sudan to stabilize their polity. The narratives in recent time are of concern for many, especially with suspected reports of politicians conniving with external forces to destabilize the forthcoming elections. This is compounded by stand taken by some international bodies over the recent government action to suspend Justice Walter Onoge for alleged infractions. The development, analysts say, could threaten national security and slow growth.
Anyone that accuses President Muhammadu Buhari or his party of trying to rig elections is being too clever by half, or at best, or totally irresponsible and reckless, because there is no record of the president, interfering in elections and so on. And the best person to ask is the governor of Anambra State.
If somebody feels he has a disadvantage, so what do I do to make everybody start thinking that I'm actually strong when I'm not?
Politics should be a game of service rather than game of investments.
For others, such actions might have some political undertones, given that President Muhammadu Buhari has consistently promised free and fair elections and has signed a peace accord to such effect.
There is a wide difference, and I think that President Muhammadu Buhari should be commended for creating a space where his party sometimes wins election, some other time they lose election. Gone are the days of do or die affair.
In advanced countries, when we are talking about campaigns, you look at the funding of the campaigns. Are we really complying with the constitutional provisions?
Analysts believe that for nations to continue to enjoy global respect accorded them by international conventions, undue external interference on domestic issues needs to be discouraged for national security for advancement. After all, it is a globally accepted fact that no nation develops in a state of anarchy and instability. Talat Ezerike, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Talatu. Now, persons with disabilities under the aegis of Kwakwando Foundation have commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing the Disabilities Act into law. Ignatius Onkwo reports that they also urged him to set up the Commission for Persons with Disabilities for effective implementation.
Sunday Eje and Chizoba Ogogwa are among the millions of Nigerians with physical disabilities. For 35-year-old Sunday, a teacher and a gospel musician, assessing banks and other elevated buildings has not been a walk in the park. Living in a society where the rights of persons, especially those with disabilities, are protected by law has been his dream. On the 23rd of January 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the dotted lines on the act that saw the realization of Sunday's dream.
Persons with disabilities have been working hard, tooth and nail to see that this thing actually come to fulfillment, and God has answered us.
How did you feel when you heard that news?
Oh, I was very, very happy. In fact, I clapped for Mr. President for this is something we have been looking up for many years.
For some of the beneficiaries of this law, the Kwakwando Foundation for Persons with Disabilities, it is a meeting to say thank you, Mr. President.
That at the end of the struggle of over 15 years, that Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, have cleaned the tears on the faces of persons with disability in Nigeria.
By the provisions of this law, any corporate body found guilty of discrimination against Sunday, Chizoba and other persons with disabilities will be fined 1 million naira, while individuals are to pay 100,000 or a term of 6 years imprisonment. In Abuja, Ignatius Onkwo, NTA News.
Well, the presidential assent to the disability bill, which now makes it law, is no doubt a great feat that can only be understood and appreciated better by those concerned. With over 25 million people to benefit from it, the Joint Association of Persons Living with Disability deemed it necessary to take proactive measures that would also facilitate its implementation. What does this imply? Momso Damien Dati will tell us.
To have a physical disability whatsoever is no easy challenge. So much difficulty in walking that comes with pains and aches everywhere. Most times, nobody understands what you are even trying to say.
When you look at my condition, I'm a deaf, and it's not written on my face. Maybe I'm going to say, and the person is saying do say, and I'll end up entering the wrong car.
Constant falls and small accidents here and there. Then, many times, the inability to do what one desires.
I hadn't the opportunity to play football, to cope with my male faults, simply because my eyes could not allow me.
As if that is not enough, an inferiority look one gets whenever he or she arrives scene of an event. Then, nobody even cares to show you a seat, not to talk of a place of honor. So many discriminations. But the good news is that all that have to stop now with the signing of the disability bill by President Muhammadu Buhari. It is a gesture the Joint National Association of Persons Living with Disability are not taking for granted.
This singular move by President Muhammadu Buhari and his vice, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, has given people living with disability a pride of place as recognized citizens of this country with adequate provision and protection by the Nigerian state.
We want to assure him also that this singular honor has done to us, we will not take it and will not abuse it. However, we will surely utilize it in a good way.
Without implementation, the benefit of the bill will not be seen.
In case you are not aware, one of the implications of this bill is that any individual will pay a fine of 100,000 naira and corporate body 1 million naira or 6 months imprisonment if you ever discriminate against any person on grounds of disability. Now, that is not all. From now henceforth, every public organization in Nigeria is to reserve 5% employment opportunities for this group of persons. In Abuja, Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
Time now to take a short break. There will be more when we return. Join us again.
All TVs say picture quality, but never mention the most important color, black. It uncovers the hidden details of nature, brings out the richness in all colors, and reveals life. With self-lighting pixels, only OLED TVs make perfect black, and perfect black creates perfect color. LG OLED TV.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Munch it, what a tasty, crunchy feeling. Munch it, gotta munch it every day. Munch it, just give me that super snack. Munch it, so irresistible. Munch it, makes me wanna say one munch, two munch, don't stop munch. Munch it is here, irresistible. One munch, two munch, don't stop munch.
Try a pack of Munch It snack at 50 naira.
Activate your life, be who you want to be. Yeah, yeah. Time to get active. Yes, the time is now. Now, now, now. Come on, get active. Oh, yeah. Yes, you can do it if you try.
Start an active life with the power of vegetables and fruits. Chivita Active. Be active. Do more.
Sore throats, it's often caused by bacteria and viruses. Feels like they're having a party. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in 1 lozenge. Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils.
Manager people, make we make the right choice, yo. Make we vote for a man of integrity. Hey, and so make we gather together and make this change. Work, my people of Nigeria. Together we go carry Niger to the next level. Niger don't decide. Vote Baba Buhari. Baba Buhari, the man of integrity. Hey, vote Baba Buhari. Man, we no corrupt, we no go chop our money. Hey, agriculture to the next level, fight corruption to the next level, good roads to the next level, electricity to the next level, railway the next level, empower the next level, greater money. For good health we go. Baba Buhari, my people, for the next level. APC, next level. Niger people, make we all come out to vote Baba Buhari.
This message is from Buhari Next Level Group.
It's good to have you join us again on NTA News Extra tonight. We now go live to our Lagos network studio to join Abolade Salami for business news. It's over to you.
Thank you, Fatima. Welcome to Business News segment. Bureau de Change Operators partner Central Bank of Nigeria and Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit in order to automate its operations. Here's the details.
The Central Bank of Nigeria
We're sorry for the loss of signal from our Lagos network studio. Moving on to the next story, the Federal Operations Unit Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service has intercepted donkey skin valued at over 7 billion naira at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The controller of the unit, Controller Aliyu Mohammed, said such items is on the export prohibition list of the agency. Michael Olalaye has that report. We're sorry we can't bring you that report. And so we move on to the next story. Impressed by the success recorded in Kamomi Ekiti accelerated water scheme of the Ondo State government, the federal government has adopted the model for all states across the country. To this end, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, through its P-WASH program and in conjunction with the state government, had a training session for participants across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country in Akure to understudy the Ondo system. Tony Batire has that report.
This is Ogbese, a community of 8,000 inhabitants. Ogbese was used for the pilot of the Kamomi Akesi Rural Water Initiative of the Ondo State Government. Under the initiative, the state government sunk 2 boreholes with 80 water points across the community to provide potable water throughout the community, and this solved the people's age-long water problem once and for all. Impressed by the success of the program, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources adopted it as a model for other states of the Federation.
For us, we use 400,000 for the adaptation of hand-pump boreholes. Whereas for Ondo State, what they are using is 81,000. And so you can see the sharp contrast.
When I reach Kano, I will practice the thing that I learned, especially the low-cost maintenance.
To date, the Rural Water Supply Agency, RUWASA, has fixed almost 200 boreholes, while 1,230 boreholes are getting ready for repairs, making good water available to the people. Aje Bamidele, a community in the Enugu local government area of Ondo State, is one of the latest beneficiary communities. Before now, this stream was the only source of water to the community.
But the work is progressing. You can see that the community, they are so happy to receive us. And by the grace of God, in another 3 months, the exercise will be completed successfully.
Water is essential to life, and potable water determines good health. Consequently, the team is poised to repair 100 boreholes in the Dugbo local government before moving to other local government areas of Ondo State. In Akure, Tony Batire, NTA News.
The federal government has expressed concern over the inability of Cameroonian authorities to allow 35,000 displaced persons from Ran community in Borno State entry into Cameroon to seek refuge. This was revealed at a press briefing in Maiduguri during donation of relief items to the IDPs by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. Amina Fide Amadou has that report.
It could be recalled that on the 14th of January 2019, Boko Haram insurgents attacked Ran community of Kalabelgi local government area of Borno State, leading to the displaced persons seeking refuge in Cameroon but were denied entry. Sadia Umar Farouk said such act has left the commission devastated, hence the visit to Borno to attend to the immediate needs of the displaced persons. The federal commissioner, while quoting a section of the 1951 UN Convention, urged the Cameroonian authority to rescind its decision and take necessary steps to support the displaced persons.
We have taken the most appropriate one by intimating the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs to call the Cameroonian authorities for a talk. It is a convention which the government of Cameroon has signed, so we expect them to respect the principles of that convention.
Sadia Umar Farouk recalled that over 40,000 Cameroonian refugees were allowed into Nigeria since October 2017, adding that the Commission provided support to them where they are camped in Cross River, Benue, Akwa Ibom, Taraba states, and the FCT. Items presented to support the displaced persons include large consignment of rice, maize, millet, beans, and soya beans, cooking oil, tomato paste, sugar, and blankets. The items have been presented to the Borno State government for distribution to the affected persons through the chairman, Borno State Emergency Management Agency, Yaba Okolo. In Maiduguri, Amina Fide Amadou, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed an Islamic State of West African province, ISWAP, logistics base near Arege in northern part of Borno State. This was accomplished in an airstrike conducted after a series of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, which revealed the presence of some vehicles and equipment well camouflaged under dense vegetation in the area. Accordingly, the Air Task Force scrambled a Nigerian Air Force Alpha jet aircraft to attack the location, supported by an ISR aircraft, which conducted the battle damage assessment for the mission. The Nigerian Air Force, operating in synergy with surface forces, still sustain its efforts to completely destroy all remnants of the terrorists in the northeast. Time now for another commercial break. There'll be more when we return in just a moment. Join us again.
Politics, democratically, affords a level playing field for everyone who carries the will and courage to lead a people in the right direction.
I wish to call on women to go and spread the good news and accomplishment of the present administration.
Women inevitably are the right source to pave this path that can bring good governance, structural stability, rapid economic growth, and basic human rights to all its citizenry. There is no better time than now to experience their prowess in this era, when women all over the world are showing that they have the right tools to build a nation. The Buhari-led administration and APC have aligned with its purpose to involve women with the right vision. The idea is not just for participation, but inclusive participation.
We can exert more power than we would have individually in garnering the majority of registered women and youth voters to vote for the Buhari Osinbajo team come 2019.
This is what change is all about. This is the vision of the All Progressives Congress. This is for a new Nigeria.
The Aerial Assurance Challenge.
Oh, thank you. But what assurance can you give our daughter?
Everything. With the new look Aerial, I can even do the laundry.
Prove it then.
Okay. Let's make this stain even tougher. Now, let's wash the cloth. With your detergent and with new look Aerial. Do you believe me now?
Aerial, now in a new look pack.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your ice cream, custards, and variations of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
From the House of Chi.
Recommended by experts, new Lifebuoy is now in Nigeria. Not just Lifebuoy, new Lifebuoy.
As the 2019 general elections draw near, a few unpatriotic people are collaborating to cause mayhem and violence before, during, and after the elections. Nigerians, please note that government is committed to free and fair elections. Do not allow those who do not wish our country well drag us back into the dark days of needless violence and killings. We must have a peaceful country first before we can call ourselves Democrats. Fellow Nigerians and patriots, report any suspicious person trying to cause violence in your community to the nearest security agency. Those who are beating the drums of war for their selfish benefit, beware. The security agencies are watching. Nigerians, let us all resist evildoers who would want to encourage us to kill and maim fellow Nigerians.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Mass Medical Mission has finally done it, ensuring that the prevention of cancer and cancer-related ailments is available to you right where you are. Our mobile cancer center, also known as Pink Cruise, is equipped with relevant state-of-the-art medical equipment to serve you wherever you are. All you have to do is apply for the Pink Cruise to come to your community or organization by sending a request to info@pinkcruise.org. Remember to suggest 3 alternative dates when you will prefer the Pink Cruise to come to conduct free preventive health care at your doorstep, including checking your body, your eyes, and your teeth. For more information on the Pink Cruise and how to take advantage of it, please log on to www.pinkcruise.org or visit us at the MMM House, number 31 Abode Thomas Street, Surulere, Lagos, or call 0805-633-4288. Mission Pink Cruise, taking wellness to all.
We're glad to have you join us again on News Extra. And we're now taking you back to an earlier story in which we told you that the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service, has intercepted donkey skin valued at over 7 billion naira at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The controller of the unit, Controller Aliyu Mohammed, said such item is on the export prohibition list of the agency. Michael Olaleye is now standing by with the details.
The unit intercepted 6 pallets and 1 cargo container of donkey skin weighing 42,412 kg, valued at $500 per kg.
This imperatively is the 4th seizure of donkey skin by the unit.
Value at 7 billion, 655 million naira, 366,000 kobo. It is under provision, export provision list. That is Schedule 6, Item 3.
Packaged in this vehicle are police uniforms, berets, belt, and tear gas. They were seized at the popular Ojoto Park in Lagos while the driver was still negotiating the destination of the items. Now, the Customs Service is not taking the seizure for granted due to the likely security threat they might pose to the general elections.
We don't know where they are going. When you look at it, they are very small. But it's not the quantity, it's the havoc they are going to commit with this type of thing. If you can see, this is a tear gas. This is a police ID cards. These are the belts. Now see this cutlass again. What has the policeman got to do with cutlass? Have you ever seen a genuine policeman with the cutlass?
459 kilograms of cannabis concealed with 99 cartons of human hair were also seized alongside 25 vehicles valued at over 150 million naira. 14 trailers of foreign rice were intercepted by the customs. In spite of the huge amount of the duty-paid value of items seized, the unit believes there is still a downward trend in illegal importation of goods as some of its surveillance strategies are paying off. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
Now, Comrade Ayuba Wabao has re-emerged as the new national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, for another term of 4 years. Waba and 15 others who stood in for election at the 12th Delegates Conference of the NLC were returned unopposed. Emmanuel Ayimiro has the details.
The 16 executive members, which formed the National Administrative Council of the NLC, consist of a president, 3 deputy presidents, 4 vice presidents, a national treasurer, 3 internal auditors, 2 ex-officio, and a financial secretary. They are expected to pilot the affairs of the union for 4 years.
This conference has ended very peacefully, and the fact that everybody is satisfied that NLC, having come a long way, 40 years, that we have come a long way also to be able to have very peaceful conferences, take good resolutions and implement those resolutions, and will come back happily in the next 4 years to consolidate on these gains that we have been able to make.
Nigerian workers repose confidence in us by re-electing us, and as I have said, we have promised to even do more than what we did in the first time. The Nigerian workers should expect more from us.
In line with the constitution of the NLC, another delegate conference will be due by 2023. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Now, it was supposed to be one of the most intriguing tourist attractions to be found in the capital city of Nigeria. But did it fulfill its purpose? Yes, for some time, before it was taken over by hoodlums for illegal activities. However, the story of the art and crafts village in Abuja will soon change for the better as the National Council for Arts and Culture commences restructuring and renovation work with a view to turning it to a standard world-class center. Oyinnaya Kalioka has more on that.
Established 2003 for the exhibition of arts and crafts during the Commonwealth meeting for the various heads of government, the Art and Craft Village has been a cultural center for all sorts of arts and crafts and home for talented artists. In 2018, the village was closed down by the National Council for Arts and Culture due to illegal activities. Since then, the place has been empty and the structures dilapidated. One of the reasons why this renovation is important is because once you step into this place, which is Nigeria's Art and Craft First Center, the first thing you will see is this restroom. Imagine coming to a place of this standard and this is what you will meet.
So we're changing that place now to information center. So when you come, you want to buy art, craft, or dresses, that is cultural display, you now know the areas.
Work is ongoing to renovate the market, marking out room for additional structures, like a skill acquisition center, amphitheater, aside the craft village, which will still maintain its cultural look. The council is also constructing a multi-million naira conference center.
The cultural aesthetics still remains. Yes, but this time will not because of culture and don't have fireproof. That's what we're doing under POP, on the floor tiles, all throughout.
It's an opportunity to get men to work. We have workers who are benefiting from.
So with foreigners coming in, we will not need anything archaic, anything old. We have to give it something new.
As I open this place now for the work, I'm very excited.
With the completion of the project, more Nigerians will be empowered, jobs created, and most especially, it will be a befitting tourist site. Oyinnaya Kalioka, NTA News.
To further raise the standard of communication studies and make its practice more competitive and world standard, master's degree in media sustainability is to be introduced in the university curriculum. This is part of draft review put together and presented to the National Universities Commission by communication and media sector stakeholders in partnership with MacArthur Foundation.
Communication and media sector stakeholders is a forum of creme de la creme of university lecturers and professors in the field of mass communication and media practitioners who feel the present curriculum of the course in the university is not in tune with the contemporary world. The current curriculum has been in use for over 10 years. Part of the review are 7 or more degree courses have been proposed in the communication department of universities to be studied to improve the quality of the course. Dean, Faculty of Communications, Bayero University, Kano, Professor Umar Pate, who led the forum to come up with the draft review, said NUC template was strictly adhered to in arriving at their submission.
We have also noted the weak linkages between the curriculum and the realities of multiculturalism and the diverse structures in politics, economics, and social setups in the Nigerian as well as the African context.
This is one of the reform issues NUC is embarking upon to review the curriculum used in Nigerian universities.
And I also encourage our colleagues that please, if you are teaching mass communication courses, try and emphasize the challenges of the practitioners so that when they come out and they meet a lot of challenges, they are not overwhelmed and they are not sort of pushed to run away.
The review will serve as a guide for the education and training of communication and media professionals in Nigeria. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Now, a community-based teacher scheme has been established to assist government in tackling the problem of lack of teachers in community public schools in Esan Northeast and Esan Southeast axis of Edo State. A member of the House of Representatives, Sergius Ogun, unveiled the scheme during the distribution of free NACO enrollment to 600 indigent students in the locality.
Teachers for the scheme will be selected from within the various communities to teach core subjects and sciences in community public schools in the 2 local government areas, and they will be paid commensurate salaries with government teachers by the Sergius Osiasoche Ogun Foundation to tackle the problem of lack of teachers in public schools.
There are schools that have just a principal and a teacher. How do you expect the students to excel? So what we have decided to do right now is to interview teachers. We have about 20 of them. So we will give them letters to resume in some of the schools.
The foundation distributed checks for free NACO enrollment of 15,000 naira each to 600 final year students in secondary schools, while the best 6 students in the selection examination received full university scholarship. Ms. Sandra Inwede, the first graduate from the scheme, received a grant of 500,000 naira for her master's degree program in French.
And I see it as a need for me to start reading and read harder than I've read before. I don't think it was enough for me to express how I feel today.
The free NACO enrollment scheme was floated in 2009 to ease the burden on poor parents. In Ubiaja, Kevin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
We'll be taking another short break. There will be more when we return. Stay with us.
Are you that electorate who collects money from political party A, political party B, and political party C, and then promise all of them under oath to vote for them on the day of elections? Hear this. If you sell your vote and then go on to vote for more than one political party or candidate, your vote shall be declared null and void. Your vote will not count. You will have lost an opportunity to vote a good leader because you sold your vote. Are you a politician who goes round buying votes? Hear this. The money you spend buying votes may not count. The electorate who is selling his vote to you may have sold same vote to other parties and candidates. Stop buying votes. Stop selling votes. Let's join hands to make our elections credible. Your vote is your power. Use it to build a great nation. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Those of them that don't want to come to the school because of this, because of feeding, they always come because they know that for sure during break they are going to eat something.
I like the food that the President Muhammadu Buhari is giving to us.
The way the people respond in the class shows that this federal feeding has good effect on them. At times, the learner will come to the school and say, Mommy, I have stomach pain. All those ones has been reduced.
Oúnjẹ tí mò ń sè ó jẹ́ oúnjẹ owó ẹ̀ ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kí n ṣe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
You're welcome back to News Extra. It's good to know you're still out there watching. Now, 200 members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Ogun State have pitched their tent with the governing APC, Governor Ibikule Amusu, while welcoming them to the party in Abeokuta, urged them to work hand in hand with the party to ensure victory for President Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressives Congress in the general elections.
Whichever place we find ourselves, we should make sure that all of those things, that when the God Almighty ultimately, in final analysis, call us to say, what have you done when you are here? It should be something that will benefit humanity, that will benefit all of those that the Lord has given you the grace to be in contact with.
The defectors pointed out the overwhelming performance of the Ibikule Amusu-led administration and the good works of the Buhari-led government as reasons for defecting to APC. They promise to work very hard to ensure victory for the party at the polls. Up ahead, foreign news and tomorrow's weather forecast. We'll be back in just a moment.
Customer.
Madam.
This one where you come today when I just collect new stock. Beg, choose the one we want.
I see the thing. Oh, make I shop round.
Okay, shop round, my brother. Hello?
Madam, Nami or Patrick?
Ah, Pato, how now?
Madam, you don't tell where you coming to service your generator. You the vex for me?
Ah, no vex. I know they use my generator anymore because federal government don't give us steady light for this our Surah market.
Eh. Okay, bye-bye, madam.
Bye-bye.
So, madam, so now self they enjoy steady power supply for yourself. Just like as we enjoy and for Sabon Giri for Kano. And even for area market for Aba.
Ah?
Hey.
All the better way the federal government they do for this light matter. It don't make light better pass as the day before for this our country.
True.
The thing we call the sweet inside my belly the same. My market was the purple.
See, now only you. Even my own for Kano. Nasu the thing they get.
Better power supply. Another ogbonge thing wey federal government dey do for we people. This message now from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Well, this is the time that we have for the program tonight, and therefore we cannot bring you the foreign news, and the weather prospect for tomorrow. We'll be back again, same time, same station, with another package of News Extra. Until then, bye for now.